Next up, we're going to have the Christys, Christy George and Christy Pressler. Christy George is a third-generation ARE staff member who's been with us for 7 years. Christy Pressler has been with us 6 years. Their merchandising gift has exhibited itself in the bookstore, which has become a gift shop. They've developed a strong interest in gems and its healing powers. Each year they attend the famous Tucson Gem and Mineral Show, not only to purchase merchandise, but also to drink margaritas. But to stay current on new and changing trends in the field. They've just returned from Tucson and have much to share with us. Please welcome the Christys.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. So yes, we did just come back from Tucson, so I have some fun pictures to show you. And then I also wanted to talk about some of the CAYCE readings on stones. We all know he loved lapis, so obviously that's what we're going to start with. But the hardest part of this presentation was narrowing down which stones to talk about. There are so many. And CAYCE discussed lots and lots of them, but not all of them, and not even all of our favorites. So we do have a few thrown in here too that are not specifically CAYCE stones, but I think if they'd been more widely available at the time, he might have talked about them because we love them, and he probably would too. So. Okay, so the first slide here is a couple of CAYCE quotes about stones, more specifically colors. He recommended many stones based on their color. And he would say, get this crystal or any blue stone that has these qualities to it. So the vibration of the color was very important. Trying to do 2 slides at once here. Okay. But then also the actual atomic content of the stone matters as well. So a different quote here. And here we have Edgar with his favorite. He recommended lapis more than any other stone in the readings, Lapis Lazuli specifically, but other varieties of lapis, which took some tracking down because nobody really knew what they were. He recommended both Lapis Liguris and Lapis Linguis, and everybody's like, what is that? We never heard of that. And apparently these were more antiquated names for stones, and they've pretty much narrowed it down now. We're reasonably certain what they are, and we'll get to that in just a minute. Do you want to talk about the lapis?
Oh, sure. Let me show you the lapis because it is our favorite stone. We've got a lot of it in Tucson. Here is 2 of the pieces that we got. We did get a lot of it in jewelry because we find that a lot of people like it in jewelry.
Yes, that's a necklace.
Yeah, we have some people that have something like this. And here's another one. And then the huge piece that's up in the meditation.
Another thing that we focused on with this slideshow is that I wanted to do stones that were attainable. When James Tiburon comes, we love him, and he talks about all the stones and the crystals and the wonderful things, but most of us are not going to be able to go out and do that investment piece of the multi-carat diamond or the multi-carat ruby. So we focus primarily on the attainable stones that we have here. So as I said, lapis is CAYCE's most recommended stones. It's for spiritual growth and development. The thing that I learned is that he recommended it for migraines. That was a new one on me. I didn't know that. And so now I'm going to wear it all the time. And it helps with past life issues, primarily from past lives in Egypt, because the Egyptians used so much lapis in their work. And here's another quote. Again, I won't read it. I did try and put it in a big enough font so everybody can read it. And then, there it Lapis linguis, and this was, Azurite was specifically recognized as lapis linguis in the reading number there, 440-1, or -11, sorry. And it's one of the other stones that he recommends heavily. Casey really likes all of the stones that have a high copper content and that tend to grow together. So he talks about azurite, malachite, lapis. He doesn't specifically mention chrysocolla, but chrysocolla can also be green, so there's an argument that it could be the lapis liguris, the other one. And those are actual pieces that will be available in the store for sale very shortly. Some azurite pieces. And it's one that is good for today's, stressful life situations. It's good for anxiety and worry, and so many people suffer from anxiety these days. It's also a really good stone for people who are professional intuitives, because it helps bring through information clearly. And there's a couple of little pieces over there. You're going to Vanna White for me, thank you. Some smaller pieces. Last year we had the big slices that James Tiburon promoted for us when he was here. We looked all over Tucson and asked everyone we saw who had azurite, can you get us any like this? Because we had some phenomenal quality last year. We did not find more like that this year. We do know it came from China, which is a step in the right direction, so we'll keep looking, but.
And it was labeled, the box was labeled wrong, that was why we got the deal.
Yeah, we had an amazing deal last year. Those of you who weren't here when James Tiburon spoke, he was talking about the quality of it. He'd bought a couple of pieces before he started speaking, and then he spoke, and before he had finished the sentence about it, there were people in the store clamoring to buy the last of it, and we still have a long waiting list of people looking for more. So, moving on, malachite is another one of those stones that grows together with lapis and azurite. He talks about it being a protective stone, which is something that I've actually read stories about pieces of malachite cracking in half when exposed to negative energy. They protect people, they absorb that energy so much that it'll actually crack in half. Haven't actually seen it happen, but I've read. I think my battery might, there we go. Takes a few clicks. So that's a raw piece with some of the azurite growing with it as well. It has a strong sort of masculine energy. It's very much about being assertive and stepping forward and taking your place and taking charge. And then amethyst. This is the piece that I could have purchased in Tucson if Kevin had answered me in time before it sold, but he did not. It's all his fault. But it was too late by then. So, anyway. We did get a piece over here that is particularly gorgeous. With the, you can see where the stalactite was cut off. It's got a nice little flower there in the amethyst. Oh, and there's a bigger picture of it if you can't see it on the table. Or there will be. Okay, there we go. Amethyst assists with meditation, which is why it's great that we have a giant piece up in the meditation room. Thanks again to James Tiburon. Also, amethyst, the legend and the lore about it is that the ancient Greeks used to put a piece of amethyst in their beer when they would drink, and they believed that it prevented them from getting drunk. I don't know how well that one works. I wouldn't try that at home, but... Okay, beryl is another stone that Casey mentions. He doesn't mention specific varieties. Beryl is a pretty big category. It includes emerald, aquamarine, morganite, among others. This pink piece on the side is morganite. The other two are both aquamarine, different varieties there. And those were pieces on display in Tucson. I took those photos there. Yeah, they're gorgeous. Gorgeous stuff. Here's some more pictures. Morganite on the left over here with the pink, the aquamarine in the middle. All pieces will be available in the bookstore. And then aquamarine and then emerald up in the far corner over there. He kind of recommends it just for general good energy. He doesn't get into the specifics on that one. Okay. Pearl is recommended. It's not technically a stone, but you find it in all the stone books and that sort of things. It is organic material, obviously, but he recommends it as help with irritating situations. If you wear pearls, it's supposed to help keep you from being so easily irritated. And I think that it's because of how it is created. You know, it is a result of smoothing over an irritation. So the energy conveys. Okay, quartz crystals. There's you know, entire weekends could be spent discussing quartz crystals. There are over 500 different types, shapes, and colors, including rose quartz. Amethyst is actually a variety of quartz, you know, and I could, yeah, go on ad infinitum there. It is an energy amplifier, a clear quartz. It will amplify the energy of other stones that you use with it. It also can act as a channel for energy, both receiving from, you know, higher sources and sending. If you're trying to send healing energy, that sort of thing, a quartz can help focus that intent. It also works really well in crystal grids, which are you know, specific alignments of crystals designed to send energy in a particular direction toward a specific purpose. And Casey recommended Moonstone several times. This is a regular, plain old general moonstone. And the quote here, he recommends it several times, particularly for women. It does help with feminine health issues and hormone balances and that sort of thing. And then there's the pretty moonstone, rainbow moonstone, which is not actually moonstone. Sad, disappointed sigh. It's actually a variety of labradorite, which is one of my very favorite, and Christy's very favorite stones. We're a little bit addicted to that one. But it's so gorgeous, and everybody loves it. We sell a ton of it. Rainbow moonstone as well is particularly beautiful in jewelry like this. It has some of the same energies as moonstone, but it's not traditionally moonstone. So if you're going based on just what Casey said, that's not what he's talking about. He's talking about the boring stuff. The boring stuff usually comes in like white, peach, gray. It's kind of meh. But Casey liked it. The next is regular labradorite. Like I said, it's a bit of an addiction. We bought way too much of this, I'm sorry. There's just a few pieces that we purchased, and you can see the unicorn over here on the table. It's got so much fire in it, it's so cool. Yeah, you have to kind of twist it to have it catch the light. And that fire inside is called labradorescence or chatoyancy. Is the other big vocabulary word for the day. And you see that in both the rainbow moonstone and the labradorite. Yes, the library's new countertop up there is made of labradorite. And wait till you see these pictures we got. These are all from Tucson. Yeah, if you see this one in the corner, that body in the back, that's Christy P. I left her in there for scale so you could see that that is a very large globe. Yeah, yeah, if only, right? One day we'll take a tractor trailer. And then the line of pieces over there is probably knee height, all of those. And then the one on the far end is a new variety that we'd not seen before. It's called Pink Fire Labradorite. And it's got this amazing, you couldn't even capture it all in the shot, but just gorgeous, amazing pink glow. It's almost like a magenta fire in it, which is beautiful. Yeah, it is $2,000. That's why we did not bring it home. Yes, that's wholesale. Okay, the next one is Selenite and Gypsum, and you'll see those two pieces over there on the table. My lovely assistants. Selenite is a wonderful stone. We've got a great big chunk of it upstairs in the library. What we have upstairs is called angel wing selenite. And then it's selenite and gypsum are the same chemical composition. The selenite is when it gets really clear and beautiful. So it is a really, really soothing stone. I made sure to wear my bracelet today so I would be hopefully not quite as nervous doing this. And it's a very good high energy stone. It's also one of the only crystals that can cleanse and charge other crystals. Because crystals are vibrational, they can take on the vibrations around them. So if you have, like if you've ever seen one of the psychics that can like hold your ring and tell you about yourself, they're picking up the vibrations that have been stored in the jewelry that you wear. They pick up vibrations from the environment that they're stored in. It's probably why Pharrell always wants to buy Amethyst when he comes to visit us, because he's trying to soak up that ARE vibe and take it home with him, because the stones have been living here. Selenite is one that can cleanse and charge other stones. So it will clean any negative energy that the crystals have picked up and get them charged up and working at their peak capacity for you. The next one is a stone that was not discovered until 1974, but I know Casey would have loved it. A lot of people think that this is one of the stones that he talks about in the readings. Based on my own research, I don't think that's the case. I don't think he mentions it. But Larimar is a very soothing stone. It's beautiful. Christy's wearing a great big chunk there. We got quite a bit of jewelry, including the 3 pieces on this slide, in Larimar. That's the easiest way to get it these days. It only comes from one place in the entire world, one mine. So its availability is limited. It's also particularly good for anxiety and panic attacks and stress. And it does have copper in it, like the other stones that Casey liked. So I think he would have liked it. So Casey believed that while we may not consciously see aura colors, we all do sense them on some level. So we're sensing the energetic vibrations whether we see them or not. And that's his quote from the aura book, the part that he actually wrote. I think that we can do the same thing with crystals. I think that when you are drawn to a crystal, it's generally, you go, ooh, what's that? What's that? And as soon as you look it up, it's exactly what you need. So as we can tell, you know, what colors look good on our friends and what colors we're drawn to wear because it harmonizes with our own vibrations, we can do the same for crystals and choose your own. So that's it. Thank you. It'll be in the store in bits and pieces. Because we got 3 pallets, so it's going to take a little bit.
Thank you.